Okay, so I have just started a new room because I have lost people in the other room. So we shall see how long it takes for people to come over to the new room. Some of the frustrations of dealing with technology, and I have absolutely no idea of how to stop that from happening. So I'm just waiting for some people to come over here to the new room. And thank you guys for letting me know in the other room when you all can still hear me, because it does make a difference when I'm trying to fix it on the screen. So I'm going to get out of this room and go into the next one. And I just named it TQ Live. I'll have to go back and fix that maybe. Who knows if I'll get back over there to the to update the title and stuff on this video. Just tried to get back in as quick as possible. So we've got Slowing Down Joe, Quilt Gal, Vicky's here, Mary, Tucker Sewing and Quilting. We are back. Robin's back. June Hanson and June Billings. Peggy is back. 59 Cats. Peggy Sue says hello. Hi, Peggy. Camille is here. Claudette's back. Nisima, my brother, is here. He goes, here we go again. Cheryl Bean says hi again. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what to do. So I'm just waiting on some other people. I don't know how many people are actually here. I'm showing 17 on one device and 7 on the other. So I'm confused. Camille is here. Let's see, Claudette, my brother, Cheryl. Dee Dee is back. Diane 57 is here. Radine is here. Uterus Services is here. She says, we'll follow wherever you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate the support. It is kind of stressful. And it's like I had over 50 people in that other room. So it's kind of frustrating when technology just does that. Lisa is back. Kevin the Quilter is back. And I wanted more people to be in here because I wanted you to tell me some other things when I tell you what I want my chat subject to be about. And Quilt Gal says, is your hubby on the internet? I don't know. He knew I was going online. And he wasn't on Wednesday when this happened. It happened on Wednesday as well. Cheryl Klut's back. June Hanson is back. June says she has 22. I'm showing 28 on my phone, but only 3 on the actual iPad. So it's a whole lot going on. June says, think party. It's a conga line. Yes. Jump to 23. Melinda C says, I'm back. 30 for Camille. So thank you all. Okay. So I got some of you all back. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get everybody back. But what I wanted to talk about, and I'm just going to start over a little bit, because if somebody is only watching the second part of this live, I just want people to, that's Leetta Bryan is back, thank you. You got this wool press mat, and as I was saying, I spent like I got this on somebody's sale, and I can't remember where I bought it, and it was $25 for this piece here. And I don't have the receipt, although let me look on my phone to see if they sent me, if I can go to mail, because I want to tell you where I got this from. And I can't remember who even told me. I think it was over on Facebook. There's a place called State Line Tack, which sells horse blankets or horse equipment and things. And I bought a couple of things from them. But I bought this mat, wool mat. And I paid $20.22 for this wool mat. This wool mat is 31 inches square. And it's made for Look how big this is. Now, I don't know yet. I want to see if I can cut this. Do you all know if I can cut felted wool and make it smaller or make smaller mats? You all let me know. That's one question I want to ask. And even if not, I might do a test cut anyway just to see, because this was a test purchase, okay? I paid $20.22 for this big piece. It looks and feels of the same texture as this mat, okay? Look at that. It's weird to me. The subject I want to discuss is I want you all to name something that is sold in the quilting industry, but that when sold somewhere else is cheaper. I find there are a lot of companies out here that are selling us quilt notions that are like everyday common notions, and we're paying a lot more money for it. And I just don't feel like it's fair for them to always be ripping off us quilters and sometimes even other crafters as well. But I know of a few products that does that, and I just want to see if anybody else is paying attention to that kind of stuff. And then also, we might have some new quilters that aren't aware that sometimes you can go somewhere else and get something else. And also for new quilters, just know that Harbor Freight can be your friend as well, okay? Because they sell a lot of things at Harbor Freight that you can use in your quilt making that's a whole lot cheaper than buying a name brand manufactured part that's just basically a different color but operates in the same manner as something else. But I got that from State Line Tack, T-A-C-K, which basically sells animal products. And yeah, I ended up, my friend doesn't listen to me live, but I ended up buying her one, and she'll get it for her birthday. I'm just gonna put it up, but she doesn't look at me on live, so she won't even know. But I bought 2 of them because I really wanted to cut one up to see if I can cut felted wool. So I'm gonna get off of this. I'm back in my email, so let me get out of here to go back into, oh, I guess I never did get back in here, huh? Okay, so I want to get back onto the chat comments. Let's see, who else? I think the last comment was somebody saying we had 29. I think it was Diane, and Leetta saying she back. Camille says, oh, I love my wool press mat. Lisa says, remember to hit the thumbs up. Thanks again for the reminders. Ellen's back. Doris is back. Cheryl says $25 is cheap. I pay $40 for mine. Yes, but I'm telling you, I paid $25, and I found a place that had them on sale when I bought that, and I thought, oh, great deal. And then somebody, and I can't remember who, I almost want to say it was Teresa, but I'm not sure. But she posted on, I think it was on Facebook, that she purchases from State Line Tack. And I go, you know, the curiosity in me, so I go over there. And I went over there and I purchased not 1 but 2 because of it being cheap, and since I was going to have to pay shipping anyway, I figured I may as well don't have to go back and order it a second time. But I was completely thrown when I saw that. I also bought some metal clips, some metal hooks, that kind of rotating kind that you put on your keychain, those fabric keychain makers that we make. I also bought some of those from over there too. But and Camille says I paid about $20 for mine. She's talking about the gray mat. Judy says, wow, now that's a wool mat. Yes, it is. And I can't believe that we're being ripped off on particular items. I remember like some of the smaller mats almost cost that price, the $20.22. And they did have like something on their website, like, sorry guys, my sinuses are messing up, but they did have something on their website. Like when you first go to some websites, they'll have a coupon saying that we're having a special from this time to that time. It'll just be up in the bar at the top part of the page. Or sometimes they'll say if you join our mailing list, we'll give you 10 or 20% off your first order. So I did get some kind of off on mine. So just know that don't all the time go to a website and do a straight out order. Sometimes when they find out that you're going to leave their website, they'll ask you if you want a discount. So this wool mat thing, that's going on, and it's been out here for a long time. They've been ripping us off for a long time. So I do have a couple other products that I know we get ripped off on, but I want to go into the comments, and hopefully somebody else has something that they can share with us. And Judy says, now that's a wool mat. Yes, indeed. I was surprised that it was, and even online it tells you what the thickness is, but I'm like, it's not going to be the same thickness. Even though I had measured my actual wool mat, had done all of the, the stuff before, measured it and saying this thing's only, it's 13.5 inches. This big mat saying it's 31 inches. I still wasn't like believing that that's what I was going to get. I thought I was going to get one of those swap out type products. This is the real deal. Now, I could have ordered this in gray, but again, the quilters have been hooked onto this site, okay? So all the gray are gone. So all they had in stock was this tan. But I'm okay with tan if it's going to save me a whole lot of money. That's ridiculous. And Cheryl says, you should be able to. Slowing down Joe says, yes, you can cut it. Sharp scissors. Teresa says, yes, you can cut it because it's pressed. And that's what I was thinking. And Kevin says, T, maybe you should use an electric turkey carvers to cut with, maybe. And then Bonita is shouting out, yes, to Harbor Freight. Exactly, yes, to Harbor Freight. And Teresa says, oh, I agree. You know that roller to press your seams, you can get it at the hardware store for about half the price. See? And that's what I'm saying. We don't know what's out here. And I know that I have it in my room. I want to say it is by Clover Notions. I'm not sure if it's a Clover product or not. So I want to bash Clover. But I have that rolling one. I have never used it because I was going to do a video on it, but I just tend to like my old wooden iron, the regular piece of wood. I like it better. And I still have another one that somebody had made me originally. And I probably, when I got this one, I probably put that one into my, one of my sewing bags where it stuck. My other one that I had before this one, I still got it somewhere around here. But it's just amazing to me how much stuff goes up when they say, oh, the quilters want to use that. Let's go over there and do that. And Janet is asking me, how was the smell, T? I shopped those for a wool mat and the smell was awful. So I don't smell it, but I normally smell everything. I am having some sinus issues right now, but I had this mat up in my face. And I'm telling you, I got a good sense of smell. And I don't smell anything. And I did have some other people saying that they had to put theirs outside. Mine came yesterday. And I was just holding it in here for this live. My friend, hers is still in the box. And I don't smell anything. But let me do a close-up smell. And it just has like a musty smell to it. But it's not something that's like penetrating my room. I can't smell this unless I'm up on it. So more of a musty smell. And I'm thinking it must be like part of the manufacturing process. I don't have any oils or any residue on my hands. And my hands don't have a smell to it either. It doesn't smell like the mat. So whatever the little musty odor is, I'm thinking it's just part of the original wool product, okay? So, but that's it. Mine's don't, this one doesn't smell obnoxious. I did not have to put it outside for a couple of days like some people said they did in the comment section. And I just think it's all on if you have any allergies to particular things. So, of course, if you're allergic to wool, this is not something you want to go buy. Because this is true mat. And on the website, they do tell you what type of wool it is. And I've forgotten what type of wool it is. But they do tell you what kind it is. Slowing down Joe says, Kevin, me thinks you're heading for the timeout corner. Yeah, he's kind of taken over Eric's spot, hasn't he? Cool Gail says, I wouldn't cut that mat because it's great to press large pieces of fabric. And I'm just a curious Joe and want to cut it just to see if I can cut it. But really, I probably would keep it for retreats and stuff so that it can be just a tabletop ironing surface is what I'll probably do with it. Okay, Bonita has one. She says adhesive spray is cheaper in other part of store, like going to Walmart. So if you're going into, like, if you're looking for a spray adhesive, I found that out myself as well. Even if it's a temporary or a permanent spray, when I was making some design walls where I was using paper fabric, I was using spray adhesive, and I didn't want to use my 501 spray because it costs a lot of money. So I went and got some just out of the regular hardware store, whole lot cheaper, and worked just the same. We're just being ripped off, okay? If it says that it's permanent, it's permanent. If it says that it's washable, it will be washable, because they can't sell you a product in home improvement and then it not be washable. So, yes. And Diane says, T, I would use a box cutter. She's talking about if I decide to cut it. And State Line Tack. Tack does have a K on the end for those that are looking for the website. Scissors. Diane says scissors. It just depends. For me, I have difficulty with scissors because I'm left-handed, so I do have to end up paying more money for scissors. It's very few scissors that are unisex that are truly unisex. I mean, not unisex, unihand, where they tell you can use them right-handed or left-handed, and then I put my hand in there and my thumb hurts because it's tilting the wrong direction. So I, being left-handed, I do have to pay more for my scissors when I want them. Cheryl says, just put Quilt Notion and it adds money. Yes, it does. And then, you know, they charge you for all of that fancy packaging they got to do. Tucker says, I learned very quickly that you can get some things cheaper at different places. Yes, that's true. Peggy Sue says, I saw some circles on a ring today, used to make small circles for applique. Exactly. They started at $30+. Oh my gosh. And she says, I swear there are standard metal washers that would cost less at $1. And you are absolutely correct, because if you can use them plastic, who's to say you can't use the metal? And they come in different thicknesses as well. So great example. So thanks for sharing that. And Cheryl says, it is still a wool mat. Yes, it is. It's for pressing seams open. I guess somebody must have asked. I must have missed something. Or maybe they're just volunteering information. Peggy Sue said, just use a pillow slip or a cloth over wool. That's a good idea. I have not even hardly used my small one. I've been using it to prop up my, and to keep my Brooklyn revolver from rotating. So I've been having it under here. And I might do like some minimal pressing when I'm doing videos with you guys. But I have only had my mat for a few months. So I haven't had it long. So I'm kind of new to the wool mats, because I have other mats, like the Steady Betty mats. And I also have the regular cardboard batting covered mats that we get from, you know, Joann's, that type of thing. I got so many of those that I have pillowcases on. So it was like, I didn't need another mat. But when I saw it at the reduced price, I went ahead and ordered it. Yeah. Let's see. Joe says, Kevin, apologies, thought you were messing with T. Turkeys, chickens, kind of the same thing. I'll behave. You all right, girl. He said, but Kevin says, I was being serious about that slowing down, Joe. Yes, he was. And I knew he was. Quilt gas cells, when you use steam, you get that smell. Okay, I'll try it. And then that's when I'm going to still put the pillowcase on it. And then Radine says, temporary glue for quilters is outrageous. Elmer's works just as good and it's safe enough for children to use, so it's fine for fabrics. That's true. Diane says, I found my Fiskars works as good or as better than most expensive brands. And you know, I've had brands of scissors, like I said, since I've lost my scissors sharpening guy. I haven't had scissors sharpened in years, and all of my scissors to me are still sharp. So I haven't had issues with any of my scissors, so that's pretty good. And I got a lot of Fiskars that I use for multi-purpose cutting. Like these are my scissors that I'll cut fabric scraps with, but I'll also cut paper, cardboard as well. Anything thick, everything get cut with these scissors, and they're Fiskars, left-handed brand. And yeah, I haven't had to have any of my scissors sharpened. So they're holding up pretty good, and considering what I cut with those scissors. Let's see. And Mary says, don't forget that you've been using it to sit on. This is the first time that I sat on it. Kevin says, I used two 72-inch metal carpenter rulers for squaring up quilts. Got them from Lowe's. That's pretty cool too. Good thing to know. And Crystal Cochran says, hi, hello T and everyone. Hi Crystal, welcome to the chat. And she's, Bonita says, I think Fiskars are owned by Ginger. Now that I don't know. That I don't know. And then some other things. You remember the this is one of the small ones. And do know that I did not buy this. It had to been given to me because I don't buy stuff like this. But these are those things, and you could get the real big one. It was the where you use in your shower, so that it was like a safety device for people that needed some extra leverage, something to hold on to when they were getting in and out of the shower. And then they started selling these to quilters. So what you do with these, it's got the little suction cup on the bottom. You put it on your ruler. And now when you're cutting, instead of having your hand down here on the ruler, you've got your hand up here and you're rotary cutting, right? So this one is called the little gripper, and they had the other one that was called the gripper. And it was by the Gypsy Quilter. Now you talk about a company that ripped everybody off. Only thing that was different was that they made these purple, okay? Because, you know, most quilters are girls. We love the color purple. And, yeah, they charged a mint for these. You could go to the hardware store and get these for less than $5. I'm talking about the big one that had 2 suction cups that you use in your showers. They were selling that for $40. And you could get it at your hardware store for less than $5, okay? And I know Harbor Freight had some of these in small as well, but I don't know if they got them back in stock or not. But yeah, Harbor Freight also has the metal bowls that you can put your pins and bobbins in as well. I use those. I use those in my long arm section. Use that a lot. Bonita says, yes, you can get the grippers from Harbor Freight in the auto body section. Cheryl says, I bought a hand grip for my shower for $10 at Walmart. Yes. And it's just, like I said, Harbor Freight, it's one of those stores that they may or may not have it in stock. And for those of you that don't know, too, you can get the 45mm rotary blades. You can get a pack of those at Harbor Freight for little or nothing. If you have a long arm quilter with a quilting machine with a metal rail, instead of buying the bars that the quilt section is trying to sell you, you go to Harbor Freight and get their metal tool holders, and that's what I use to float my quilts on my quilt top. So it's a lot of things out here that people will sell you, and when they sell to you, and when it gets over to the quilting industry, it costs so much more money that it just turns ridiculous. And Kevin saying, no reason for apologies, talking to it, slowing down Joe. Yeah, we're family here. We know what you mean. So, yes. I also found out today that, or somebody mentioned to me today, I'm not sure if it's true because I haven't verified this, but Tacony, which is the company that owns Baby Lock in the St. Louis, it's in St. Louis County. It's in one of the counties of St. Louis, so we just say St. Louis, everything here. Baby Lock owns Tacony, and Tacony owned Nancy's Notions, and I just heard that Missouri Star has purchased the Nancy Notions branch from them. Now, I haven't had this verified, so it's going to be interesting to see if they make that into an open store, because Tacony has it, and it was only like a mail only store, so it's going to be a mail order only store where they just take orders and send stuff out. So it's going to be interesting to see what Missouri Star does with that. I'm about 4.5 hours away from, I would say, Missouri Star, something like that. And Joe goes, okay, I just let myself out of timeout at 1 minute per year. I'd be there all night laughing out loud. That is funny. Crystal said, yes, they did sell Nancy's Notions to Missouri Star Quilt Company. And that's what I heard, but I did not go and verify it before I came on because I had just kind of read it. But I do want to try to let you all know of any major changes that are going on in the sewing industry that I'm aware of so that you know what's going on if something should change or, things start getting a little different. And then Cool Gal says, I just got an email that Bluprint is closing. Yes, and I had told you all that on Wednesday that Bluprint was closing. And I found it so ironic that they just not notifying people on their email list that they're closing. But everybody else already knows except for the people that really utilize their company. And what was so funny in that email was that they said they're still taking registrations for yearly subscriptions up through May 31st, 2020. They did say that you can still get access to your files. But if you're saying that you're going out of business, that Bluprint is closing is how they said it, what guarantee do I have that how long this data is going to be there? I don't know how you can trust that, because if a company is closed, technically they're closed. And I know it's all technical information, but what if something happens and your systems crash? If you're closed, are you going to guarantee that data is going to be there forever? So it just seems a little fishy to me that they're still accepting money. And they even sent me a notice like sometime in early May to still join on a subscription rate. So yeah, it's a little bit fishy with the Bluprint thing. Regina says, wow, that would be interesting. I love Nancy's Notion since 1998. And I would order certain things from Nancy Notions, or when they had great sales, I would order stuff. But I haven't got so much stuff that I haven't been ordering a whole lot like I used to. Or what I'm ordering is like more office-based stuff. And then also scrapbooking, my scrapbooking side. And they don't supply to scrapbooking at all. So I haven't been ordering from a lot of my normal vendors that I normally order from. Teresa Louise says, lots of good information here tonight. Thanks, T. Yeah, I love discussions because I think sometimes when new people come into this industry, you can kind of get ripped off if you don't know what it is that you're doing. And you got to know all these tips. And you do learn a lot by doing with quilting. So, and Teresa says she's telling everybody about Bluprint. Go get your files and download to your computer. And that's exactly what I would do. I recommended on Wednesday that people go buy an external hard drive. And then you can download all of your stuff to that external hard drive. That way it's not on your main computer system clogging up your space. That's what I recommend. And Quilt Gal says that they are working on that. June Hansen says, I bought my Go from Nancy's and a few dies and other stuff from her. Mary says, the email I got said, you have so long to download your files, and then that's it. Now, because I am not a subscriber, because I refuse, for some reason, I don't know, they sent email after email when they first bought Bluprint. And I didn't like how they were harassing me, trying to get me to buy a subscription that I did not. I just didn't have good vibes with the company once it was sold from Craftsy. So I never did sign up. So I have no idea. I did have like a couple of classes that I had bought under Craftsy, and I didn't even care. I have never been back in there. So I just, maybe they sent their subscribers something else, but I didn't get that one because I am not a subscriber. So good for letting us know that. Let's see. You won't be able to access them anymore. So again, you all hearing that from Mary saying that the email she got says you have so long to download the files and then that's it, and you won't be able to access them anymore. But they're still selling subscriptions up through May 31st, 2020 though. Yeah. It's a mess. And when you sign up for that subscription, when they had it in the email trying to get me to do that subscription, they didn't say anything about how long I had to download files. So just be aware. And Diane 57 even had the same thing. She says, I thought Bluprint was suspicious to me from the beginning. And I guess the only thing that I wasn't like 100% suspicious with them is because maybe because I had ordered from Craftsy during the Black Friday sales that last year before they officially sold and said that it was sold in January. I had ordered in November and December of that year. And so I saw on my bill that it said Bluprint. And so I thought, okay, maybe they're just using a different billing service. So they had already switched over all of their billing to Bluprint, but I think Crafty's people were still in control of the company until January 1st, whatever year that was. I'm thinking it had to be 2 years now, or has it been a year? If it's been a year, they messed up big time, but I'm thinking it was 2 years. But I did, and I just didn't like it. And I remember Christmas, it might only been 1 year, because Christmas came this year, and I decided I'd look for the sales that I normally get for Christmas, and they just weren't there. So I don't know how they messed up such a great company in such a short period of time. Crystal says, do you do stamping with your scrapbooking? If so, what brands do you use? I make greeting cards, and I do scrapbooking as well, but I'm one of those people, I got so many pictures, it's never going to be done. But if I get into pictures, I'll do major events. I don't do the everyday pictures anymore. I just don't have time for that. But like if somebody has like a 50th wedding anniversary, I'll come home, get all of those pictures developed or printed, and then I will go ahead and scrapbook that. So I do some scrapbooking. I'd mostly make greeting cards with all of my stuff, and I use all brands for most parts in scrapbooking because I tend to buy what I like. I used to buy a lot of Stampin' Up stuff, but it takes them so long to give you a good deal. So what I have found, and they are the best salespeople though, you're gonna have to be careful. I do use a lot of Crafter's Companion products. And the reason why I use a lot of Crafter's Companion products, because if you follow them, they do different video things where they're doing the sales pitches and stuff, but they show you ever buy something and then you don't really understand what the pictures are trying to tell you? Crafter's Companion makes everything that they sell. So if they're selling you a die that cuts on an edge, gives you a fancy edge, they show you how to use it, and then they show you different ways of using it. So they show you more than one way of using the same thing, and that's what I like about them. So I'm kind of more gearing towards Crafter's Companion. I used to buy a lot of their products out of Tuesday morning stores, and I haven't been in there in a while. But I am finding that when a product first come out, I never buy it. And what I do is eventually, say like 3 or 4 months down the road, they have such great sales and such great deals that I end up buying it later from them at such a discount. I might get either half or up to like 70% off of products. And then you also have a buyer's club where the more stuff you buy, the higher your percent off is. Sometimes they'll have, even in addition to that, they might have a coupon sale. I just bought something from them that I have been waiting to go on sale. I've been wanting to change out my pigment dyes, my pigment inks, because I haven't purchased any since when I first started scrapbooking, like maybe 1990 or something. So they're about 20 years old, but some of them still are juicy and some of them are dry. But I wanted to replace my whole line of pigment inks. My dye-based inks are fine. And so they had a sale. If you bought the whole set, it was like $250. They had a sale on them where they had knocked them off, and then I had I get 20% off because I'm in their club Inspire, and then on top of that they ran another coupon that gave you 10% off. So I got all of those offs on that product, and it got it down way cheap. So that's what I've been buying lately, and more lately because I haven't been going to the stores at all. So I just been waiting for the stuff that I've been wanting to go on sale. I lost my spot here. Let me go back. Crystal says, if you want to purchase from Bluprint, use code SURPRISE35 for 35% off all fabric. I used it last night. That's good. Thanks for sharing that with everybody. I must have skipped something when I answered that other question. It already jumped and I didn't know it. I know that I read June's comment. I read Mary's. Crystals. Now, Quilt Gal says, Amen T. They all they want is money, money. Yes, indeed. The almighty dollar. MGG is here saying hi, all. Hi. Diane says Bluprint was a ripoff from the time they broke away from Craftsy. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Ellen says, wow, they are doing business rough. Yes, they are. Regina says, yes, I subscribe to Craftsy, but not to Bluprint. Also, Bluprint was only 1 year. And that's what I thought, because I would say January made a year. Because I know for Black Friday, I was looking for my sale. So I went to the site. I didn't even wait for them to notify me. I just went over to the site trying to figure out, okay, what's on sale over here? And it was nothing fantastic. So I just backed right on up out of there. But I thought it was only a year. I used Crafty, but Bluprint was too pushy. That was from Joe. So a lot of people were feeling the same vibes I was getting. And think that people were getting a lot of these vibes through email. Can you believe that? So imagine if these people were like salespeople knocking on your door or something. Or coming to your local quilt shop and doing a sales pitch or something. That's horrible. And Teresa's saying the same thing. Bonita says, do not buy the quilt sticks. I cut all of my black strips for block swap and coming up 1/4 inch short. Seam ripped a few times. Triple check widths of seams and still coming up short. Wow. I then measured the quilt sticks and they were an 1/8 to a 1/4 off. Oh my gosh. Are you talking about those things from, what's the name of that? You're not talking about Martelli, are you? I don't know. I haven't bought any quilt sticks. That's the only person I know off the top of my head that have those strips that are cut in certain sizes that you can get. Okay, I'm having problems with this dumb thing again. So that was Benita. So let me know. My screen here is acting up on my phone. So let me get out of here. Closing out. I'm hoping I don't have to reboot the phone. See if I can restart my YouTube. It's always something, guys. She says, I ordered from Nancy's Notions. Okay, so it's not Martelli. I didn't see the rest of it. I saw it on the bottom. And it looks like I'm going to have to reboot. I don't know what's going on. Restart. So we'll wait for a minute. Rulers forever. Okay. So I think she's saying that the company name is Rulers Forever. So she was using something that's supposed to cut exact size strip sticks, and they're strips. They're like sticks is what she's saying, like rulers, but she's calling them sticks. And they're coming up short. Now that would make you mad. But Bonita, if it's like, oh, you got it on both sides though too, because remember, people are gonna probably be cutting these blocks down too, because they're not all gonna be the same size. Let me see if I can get myself back in here. It's rough hosting a live chat. Woo! Your channel. And I'm hoping my volume is still down. All right. The company is quiltsticks.com. Okay. Okay, so let me go back and see where I left off. Okay. Tiffany says, hi, I'm late, but I'm having issues with editing my newest video, and it's taking up my all day. Ugh. And I've been having problems with YouTube where I will do a video, I edit the video, produce the video, then go upload it to YouTube, and then toward the end, when it gets to processing, after it got to 99%, it's just sitting there stuck. And then it will tell me that it can't upload or can't process this video. And then it just, whole thing is just gone and dead. So I try that 2 or 3 times trying to re-upload. Then I end up having to go back and re-edit the entire video again from scratch the second time. And then it goes through like a charm. But I've been editing for years, and I know I didn't do anything wrong, so I don't understand what's going on with YouTube and uploading right now. Now I'm on here, and my screen is darker. Don't ask me why my screen is dark. Okay, I just hit something by mistake. Let's see. Yeah, but it's just weird. So, good luck to you, Tiffany. I understand. I've been there. And then Tiffany says, yeah, it didn't save properly, froze up my device, and I had to restart over 2 times now. And I'm just going to tell you, because I've done it where I've had stuff running all night. I've tried the same file 4 and 5 times because my video may have been a 30-minute video and I didn't want to do it. I'm telling you, the easiest thing is to just re-edit the video from your original files and just go there. And then it uploaded right on through. I don't know what happened. And this happened to me like in the last month or two, like maybe 5 times. So I'm just telling you what you're going to end up having to do. And I even tried to cheat one time. I brought in my video, and then I just add the video that I had created into the editor. And then I tried to just add another picture that was just going to be this random picture. And you all were going to go, where's this random picture doing in here? But I was so frustrated. I was trying anything. I tried to do that, reproduce the video, went to upload it to YouTube. It still did not work. I had to go back to the original source files. It's just crazy. So, yeah, I hope you get it working. Crystal says, thanks, I'll check out Crafter's Companion. You're gonna, I don't know if you're gonna thank me yet, because you're gonna want to buy everything. I'm telling you, they have daily, join their YouTube page, and they have daily lives where they show you how to work product, and then they have that particular product on sale. And that's where I get a lot of my sales from. And Thursday is my best day to order from them. They'll have cartload sale where they'll have stuff at the most off on Thursdays. And then you just missed that they had a USA warehouse sale, and I bought some stuff that I'm waiting to come in now. But and you can watch all of their old videos. They keep everything up. So anytime I order something off of their sale from their videos, their YouTube videos, I'll save that video into a folder so that I know when I want to work with that product that it's somewhere in one of those videos. Let's see. I'm a new quilter from California and shocked to see how expensive fabric can be. Yes, fabric is expensive, and that's the one thing that we try to get across to people in the non-sewing industry, that when we make quilts for our family members, they think we can make a quilt for $50. And there's just no way possible that we can make you a bed quilt for $50. Quilt fabric is expensive. Ever since they said that the price of cotton went up because the one year we had bad crop from it, cotton has never gone down. It's amazing to me that we're now back to normal with cotton, but we've never gone down in the price of the batting and the fabric with the cotton. So yeah, fabric is very expensive. That's why a lot of us quilters, we tend to buy stuff when we have sales, and then some quilters only purchase what they need. And if you're purchasing what you need at the time, you're going to be paying full price all the time. So that's why a lot of us have these humongous stashes built up. That's why a lot of quilters was able to make a whole lot of masks and didn't even have to step out their house to buy fabric, because we have all of this fabric built up. So yes, quilting will be, it's expensive. It's going to get even more expensive. I bought most of my fabric when I was working. I always tried to get it at 30% off. I'd say probably 1% of my fabric I probably bought at regular price. And then I knew when I retired, I wasn't going to be buying as much fabric as I was buying when I was actually working. So I got enough fabric in here probably to last about 10 quilters in this house. Okay. Woo. Tiffany says, hi everyone. Sorry, I'm okay. Just frustrated today. All been going on. I can understand. Dee Dee says, I heard from a quilt teacher that fabric is going to get scarce. Wow. The gray material that they start with comes from China. Okay, so I didn't know that. I had no idea. And Mary says, and it's getting more expensive all the time to get good quilters cotton. Crystal says, Bluprint did not release new videos often enough. So I had no clue because I wasn't going over there. MGG says, I ordered what I thought was a yard plus $5 shipping equals $10. Turned out the price quoted was for half a yard. Yes, and a lot of sites do that. And I don't know if I like that per se. Just let you select what portion you want to buy. Like if you're selling half yards and you're selling whole yards, some sites do automatically default to a half yard. And if you're new, and especially online ordering, all that whole process could be new, especially when you're coming over the fabric and you think one is for a yard, you know, for fabric, and that one could mean just 1/2 yard. So you are correct. It can be costly. Gotta pay attention. So good example. Mary says, she's talking to MGG. I've seen it. You have to be very careful. I did the same thing. So, and Tiffany's saying it's 99 right now. Girl, it's hot. Diane says, knock on my door. They would meet my mastiff. Quilting is a wonderful hobby, but you have to be careful with the spending. Bonita says, I order from Nancy's Notions, and the company is quiltsticks.com. Okay, and then Rulers Forever. No, the company is quiltsticks.com. Mary says, you do a great job at T. I appreciate you. You're more than welcome. I enjoy these live chats. Hold on, guys. I gotta wipe my eye because, like I told you all, my sinuses are acting up today. I'm trying not to take my sinus meds every day, especially when I don't go outside. And that's because I used to be on Zyrtex, and I could use name brand or generic brand Zyrtex, and they were pretty cheap. But I am now immune to that, and so I have to do Allegra D. And I get like 15 tablets, and I spend about $25. So I'm trying not to take allergy medicines every day, so I will have a little bit more symptoms showing. I'm trying to do like once every other day or every 2 or 3 days if I can, because Allegra D is expensive. And it doesn't go, you know, you buy it over the counter at the pharmacy, so it doesn't go through any insurance plans. So yeah. And regular Allegra doesn't work either. I have to get the Allegra D. Diane says, I like to compare my rulers to my cutting mat. And I do that sometimes. I barely use my cutting mat lines. I tend to use my ruler lines. But every once in a while, when a piece is so large, you have no choice but to use your cutting mat, then I'll go ahead and use my cutting mat. But most times I use my ruler lines. Teresa says, I'm not good at editing yet, so I try not to if I don't have to, laughing out loud. Yes. Diane says, might be because of the pandemic. I don't know. Because like I said, I tried over a period of days, so I don't think that's Tiff's problem. And then she's also saying, yeah, I may have to start over again because it's been at 91% for like 40 minutes and my second counter is going like every 3 minutes. Yeah, see, that's crazy. Teresa says, I only buy when on sale. Exactly. And you know, sometimes you got to buy, you don't even have a project. And also you can go to your local quilt stores, and this is where I like to go to. We have a store called Jackman's. It's not really a quilt shop, but they sell a lot of quilt fabric, and they sell a whole lot of other fabrics too, but they have a huge quilting department. And I like to go to their sales section because they have a lot of sailboats, and I go through there. I don't buy something every time I go in there, but if it's something there that I think I might use in the future, then I'll go ahead and buy it. You know, that's how you get your fabric for a lot cheaper. And you also become a fabric hog like me. um, cool guest says, has anyone purchased from Marshall's Dry Goods? They have great fabric and quick service. I have ordered, I am a vendor of Marshall's Dry Goods, but I'm one of those people that I like to go pick up my fabrics because I want to feel it. I find that Marshall's Dry Goods, like I buy Timeless Treasures lines from them, and I do find that, you know, they do have name brand stuff. It might be older stuff that didn't sell in the main quilt shops, or the main quilt shops didn't buy out from Timeless Treasures. So they would sell it to Marshall's Dry Goods. I'm sure they get a great price, kind of like Tuesday morning buying overstock product. So I do, but I like to go to the store so that I can see the fabrics for myself. And because Marshall Dry Goods has their own brand too. And so I do sometimes will buy their own brand fabrics. They're not the best quality. They're okay. And I do sell some of Marshall Dry Goods quilt backs. So that's what I buy from my customers. Some of my customers can't afford to spend $25 a yard for quilt backings. And so I have the $8 per yard quilt backings that I'll sell to my customers when I'm doing their long arm quilting. I've put them on the back of my quilts. I've washed my quilts with them. The backings hold up fine. They look pretty, so I don't have any problems with it. But I just, you know, quilt backings can be expensive too, so. Loris McGinnis says, just installed my quilt butler and I'm excited to use it. Congratulations on your purchase. I know it's a lot of money and it probably looks a little bit overwhelming, but it's going to be so much fun once you learn how to operate the system. I'm enjoying mine. I've been quilting since I got mine installed at the end of January. So I did a couple of what I consider to be test pieces, but they weren't really. I needed some fabric quilted all over. And I've actually used both of those fabric pieces in other projects already. And then I just went from there and started quilting on quilts, honey. I jumped right in. So enjoy your process. And Tiffany also uses Marshall Dry Goods. And then Diane says, Americans need to make our own stuff. We used to. And then we, you know, had presidents that encouraged us to send all of our trade over to another country because they were tired of dealing with our unions. But our unions also protected our people and made sure people that were working hard got paid well. And, you know, we've lost a lot of that. And I know a lot about unions because my husband used to have a union. He's a machinist. And they lost their union years ago. And when they lost their union, that company brought over people from Korea. They had to train those people, and then they moved the company to Korea and telling my husband that, you know, he could keep his job if he wanted to move to Korea. It's like, okay, yeah, right. So you're going to get all these Americans that's going to go to Korea, and then you're going to get them over there and cut their pay because they don't have that kind of stuff over there. And I looked at my husband and just said, yeah, right. So ever since then, he's been working with other companies, but he has no union. He has no rights. They treat them like kind of crap for the most part, considering benefit-wise. Pension plans are all gone. You know, a lot of companies used to have pension plans, and when all of the big manufacturing left the USA, a lot of people have lost their work pension plans. So, you know, it's a lot that we've lost in America by sending our trade over to China. June says, I was at Hobby Lobby last week, and they didn't have their 30% off calls. They were having problems getting fabric. It comes from China, and they had a lot of fabric for now. That was at Hobby Lobby. I don't buy fabric from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has fabric. Is it in packages or something? I didn't know Hobby Lobby had fabric. Am I blocking something? Because I don't remember a cutting table in our Hobby Lobbies here in St. Louis area. But maybe it just depends on where you are. But that's one thing that I don't have to worry about is running out of fabric. That is not going to be my problem. But that is weird. Mary says, I think that's why I have this migraine. Something else is starting to bloom. Yes, and I do get like sinus headaches and things like that, but I'll just take like one Aleve or Advil or something like that, and it'll knock it out. So I don't have, I have very low tolerance for meds. Cool Gal says, check Amazon for your over-the-counter meds. Okay, I will. But I thought you had, like, with Allegra D, you have to have show an ID. But maybe they have some kind of way of doing that online. Because it's considered, you know, for people that will buy it to do something wrong with it, which I can't say on this live stream, that, yeah, I thought you had to have an ID. But I'll check it. And then Diane says, I take Allegra but can't take the D, see? And only the D works for me. The regular Allegra does not work for me. Tiffany is asking me, Tiffany, can you email me, Tiffany, because I want to ask you about something else as well. And I know what you're talking about. She's asking me, can I press her shirt with the same stuff but on a string tank top? I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Tiffany's Quilting Life with the butterfly thing on a string tee, and I have to order that, but I need to know your size. So email me, but then it'll remind me that I wanted to talk to you about something else, okay? And Diane says, my husband has a union. Is that plumbing, Diane? Tiffany says, be right back, gotta go vacuum my bathroom. Cheryl says, yes. No, yes, have the Kona cotton as one. June, I don't know what that means. June says they have it in bolts, just like other places. It's always in the back of the stores. I don't think in St. Louis that we have Hobby Lobbies with Hobby Lobby. Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. I'm thinking Michael's for some strange reason. We do have fabric in Hobby Lobby. I'm sorry. Guys, I had a brain freeze or something. Sorry about that. Because I told you all that I went to Hobby Lobby a time or two and got a piece of fabric. So I had one of my subscribers send me like a $10 gift card when I was doing the quilts for charity, and I used it to buy one of the border prints out of there. Sorry guys, I'm such a doofus sometimes. And say yes, they have Kona cotton. So she's saying they have some Kona cotton, I guess. Diane, you're right. Hobby Lobby has a whole sewing section. Dee Dee says there's a lot of fabric out there now, but nothing new is getting printed. So when it's all gone, it's all gone. And I think that's with a whole lot of industries right now, because especially crafting industries, because a lot of those places have been shut down since March. And so they got to go back. There's probably going to be a process for cleaning these shops, these factories up. There's going to be a process probably for how they have to re-clean and restart the actual machines that run this stuff. Because if something's been off, sitting for a while, I know my husband, his machines, he says they eat gallons and gallons of oil. So you got to get all of this stuff back lubricated and all this other kind of stuff. Most industrial machines eat up a lot of oil, and it's just been sitting for months. So it's going to be a process on how. And then they probably got to implement some safety precautions for their employees as well. So it's going to be a while before we get back to having everything that we need. Linda says, my Hobby Lobby in Toledo has a huge section of fabric on boats, almost like Joann's. Yes. Ours isn't as big. They used to be bigger and better. I feel like you can pick out certain things, but they're not as good as they used to be. They used to have really good sale fabric too, and I don't see that as often as I used to. Cook Gal says, I'm only allowed to buy a certain amount in a time period, but you can get the med. Okay. Regina Connor says, Hobby Lobby in Las Vegas has a cutting table Fabric and bolts, trims, ribbons, notions, and upholstery fabrics. You are absolutely correct. I don't know why I was in Hobby Lobby saying Hobby Lobby, but I'm standing in Michael's in my head. Oh, hubby is an electrician. Okay, see, I don't know anybody that's an electrician, Diane. So that's good that he still has a union. Cheryl says, I had allergy shots in my 20s and have not had any problems with allergies since. It's not for everyone, though. I have never had allergy shots, so I have not tried that. And glad I have a large stash left. Now, that's from Teresa. Yes, indeed. And when I was buying my fabric, I remember when I first started quilting, you know, fabric was, and I'm sure some of you ladies are older than me, but I remember at least like $7.99 a yard for regular price fabric. And compare that now to like $13.99 a yard for some fabric, especially if you're looking at boutiques. So yeah, it's a mess out here with the cost of fabric. So yes, expensive. That's why some of the, you know, some of us Asian quilters like me that have been quilting, or people that have been quilting for say 20 plus years, if you get somebody new, you know, try to help them out, give them fabric. Like anytime my stepdaughter, daughter, anybody that's around me want to learn how to quilt, I just let them come over and I just pull out my scraps. And I don't, you know, and I'm attached to every piece of fabric that I have, okay? But I have to like tell myself, let that fabric go. You got plenty on the shelves. This is just a little bit. But I'll let them play with my scraps. I'll give them, we'll pick out a die, and then we just cut fabric with the die. Say like if we're making a tumbler quilt or something like that, I just let them go through my scraps. It's a great way to get people started without them having to invest a whole lot of money up front. In true essence, yes, you can buy a quilt a whole lot cheaper than you can make one, even if you bought it from a quilter. Because as we're making stuff, we got to have the machine, we got to have the threads, we've got to have the fabrics, we got to have the batting, we got to have the backing fabric. You know, there are so many things. The particular rulers, if you're using a die cutting system, you need the die cutting system. So sometimes it's just cheaper to have somebody make the quilt for you. The whole process for us quilters is that we like to do it. So we're not even doing this for the money. Even when we're selling quilts, we're not making the money that we should be getting off of those particular quilts. So just know that any crafter, it ain't even just the quilters, we're doing it because we love it, and we spent a whole lot more money than we're ever charging anybody for anything. So you never really make money quilting. You just enjoy the process. Tiffany says, okay, back. Tiffany, I don't know if you heard me. I told you to contact me about what you want on that shirt. Are you talking about a Tiffany's Quilting Life shirt? And then let me know the size. And I know you want a string top. And then I need to, that'll remind me I need to talk to you about something else. Peggy Sue says, for your allergies, try eating a teaspoon of local honey made within 50 miles of where you live each day year round. That will build up your immunity. Okay. I know a friend, but I don't know if she's close enough. I have to check that out. I have to do a Google search, because I have heard that if you get the honey from your local area, it is good for you. And I do like honey. I like honey in my tea. So I love honey. Thank you so much for that, Peggy. And Mary was also telling Tiff. Diane says, oh yes, girl, fabric has skyrocketed in price. Exactly. And Carr says, go to Walmart and take the package of the med you are taking and compare it to Walmart store brand. Bet you can find the med you need. I don't know. I don't know if they have a generic brand. I guess they could have a generic brand of Allegra D, because regular Allegra doesn't work. I'm immune to Zyrtex, which is what I have been taking on a daily basis for like the last 2 years. I was on Allegra D and had kind of gotten a little bit immune to it. So then it might have been more than 2 years that I've been on Zyrtex. It might have been about 4, maybe 5 years that I've been on Zyrtex. And now And I've been getting their generic brand from Sam's Club because I could get 2 100 peel bottles for like $35 or less. That was really cheap. I only had to buy it twice a year, and I was so generous I would give my daughter a bottle because it was so cheap. But this Allegra stuff, I'm getting 15 peels. It's for $25 and some change, and then I got to pay tax on it. So I'm just going to say it's probably around 30 bucks because I can't remember the exact price for those 15 peels, but I know that it's over $1.50 a peel. I know that for a fact. So it can be real expensive, and it's not that I can't afford to take that. It's just that I'm trying not to take it every day. I'm trying not to make that an expense. That's all. But I will try some of these other resources that you all are telling me. I appreciate that. Needles is what Diane, she's saying. Just the word needles. Tiffany says, I'll message you directly after you're off this okie dokie tea. Yes, ma'am. Cool Gal says, I have 2 BFFs, and I told them they could have anything in my sewing room when I die. And one spoke up and said, I get all the kits. I couldn't stop laughing. That's funny. That is so funny that you say that too, because I was just talking to a quilting friend, and she's been through some health issues, and she's doing fine right now, but she was saying that she had brought her lawyer over to her house so that she could do her finalize like her will and stuff. She's always had one, but she wanted to update it because nobody in her family quilts, and she's got a whole I'm not gonna say who it is, but I showed their studio in one of my studio tours, and she's got a slew of stuff. And so the attorney comes over, and she's trying to explain to him that she needs to put people into her will to help execute what's going to happen with her sewing stuff. And then the attorney asked her, he says, do you really think that somebody's going to show up to buy the items in this room on a yard sale? Now, how many of you ladies have been to quilters yard sales? I've been to some where the person is alive, and I've also been to some where the person has died. And if I go to one where a person has died, I tend to buy one of their UFOs. I don't know why somebody's UFO is always calling my name. And then I will get that UFO home. And I got plenty of UFOs myself, being a quilt instructor, being a person that likes new gadgets and techniques. But I go to sleep, and this UFO is talking to me in my sleep. So then I got to get up, and I get the UFO out, and then I start separating out the pieces, and then I put it back up thinking, okay, now I'm done with the UFO. Go to bed the next day. UFO still talking to me. So I end up I found that other people's works in progress, I love having a memory of somebody's work. So I tend to buy people's UFOs. I'm just crazy like that. I have bought like their fabric and books and stuff like that, but I also buy a work in progress. It's crazy. Just crazy. But she was calling because she had mentioned to me before, she's got me and this other lady, and I'm not going to say any names because I don't want any names out here, but she was saying that she was going to put us down as people to contact to handle all of that because her family is not going to know what to do with all of her stuff. So she was making sure that she wrote it down explicitly in her will so that what she wants will happen. So I just found that funny that the conversation has gone there in this chat. Teresa says, T, I have your doctor write you a prescription. That's what I do with my, and I did talk to my pharmacist because I was telling him they will only sell you 15 max at a time. I'm like, okay, if I'm on this daily and I have to take it for 30 days and you're only selling me 15 pills, and they did tell me that I needed to have the doctor write a prescription. But because I haven't been to that particular doctor in a while, I would have to make an appointment. And I was told this in March. And I'm not going to any doctors for a while. So I need to have an in-office visit in order for me to get a prescription. And then my insurance has also changed this year. Unbeknownst that we were going to have all of these issues. So a lot of my paperwork, I would have to get all my paperwork updated as well. And that's the kind of stuff they want to have in front of them, seeing you with it, instead of you sending it in and say my stuff has changed. So my insurance changed this year. Evelyn McGaw says, Las Vegas Quilter, welcome to the chat. Ann says, get the name brand out of your head. Look for cold, allergy, or flu, and then compare the ingredients. That's what I do. Okay. I can try that. Cool Gal says, done that several times at yard sales. Yes, buying people's UFOs. Mary's laughing at me. Tiffany says, I seem to get lucky at quilter yard and estate sales. Evelyn says, the smell from the wool mat is when steam or water is sprayed. It goes away after the mat is broken in. Okay, because I haven't even paid attention to the gray mat to know if it even has a smell. But like I said, I haven't used the gray mat much either. Ann says, I bought a sewing machine and in the estate sale, it still works good. Regina says, yes, Miss T, I bought several sewing machines at estate sales. Got a Janome QC 8200 still in the box for only $800 with the actual table. Wow. Teresa says, I did Zoom with my doctor last month. That was kind of strange, but it was nice not to be, it was strange, but it was nice not to sit in the waiting room. Yes. And see, that's the problem with me switching insurance. Is like some of my doctors aren't on the new insurance list. So I'm going to have to get a new primary care physician. And then even my doctor that I had as my primary care has decided that he's going into administration. So I've lost him too. So I've lost a lot of my specialty physicians as well as my primary care physician. So yeah, it's rough now. I'm just hoping that nothing major happens to me that I need to get medical care other than like going to a critical care unit somewhere in the neighborhood. So that's what I'm hoping, because all of my stuff has changed. Robin says, I had a family dinner around the holidays last year. My children and my nieces went in my sewing room and put a sticky note with their names all over my machines and everything in my sewing room. Now that's pretty cool. So you know what people were interested in. So yes. So I'm gonna, what time is it? I don't even know. We have issues with the, oh, it's not even 11 yet. So I try to do 9 to 11 on Saturday night. Try to do the 2 hours. For new people that just popped into the channel, we normally live on Wednesday. That's my regular chat night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've been doing an extra one during this time period on Saturdays. We were doing them Mondays at 1 p.m. but found that it was just too many people on during the daytime with people working from home and also school systems working. Everybody's having Zoom meetings, including the businesses. So it was kicking us off. Like I was doing 3 and 4 times trying just to get an hour worth of chats in, and it just gets to be a little headachy after a point. So I stopped the Monday ones for right now. And Diane 57 says she lost her specialty docs too. Robin says, I was dying laughing so hard. So yeah. And my eyes are so watery. So today is probably going to be one of those nights where I'm going to have to go take the Allegra Day. So it can at least dry up my eyes. And I have a little like sinus. I don't have a sinus drip, but I can feel like my nose might be kind of being stuffy a little bit. I only went outside to go to the mailbox today to get those packages. So I put on my mask when I went into the mailbox. I didn't put it on from my house to my car, which is, you know, steps away, and steps from the car to the post office. So I've only walked about 50 steps each way. So I don't know. It's just weird. That's what sinuses does, you know. Regina is reminding everybody to hit the thumbs up for Miss T. Thank you so much, Regina. Appreciate that. Cool Gal says, oh, I forgot to say I got toilet paper from Walmart today with pickup order. Wow. I'm surprised at that. So I'm surprised. That's pretty cool. Mary says, as soon as I go out my front door, I sneeze. See, I don't seem to have any problems with anything, and then it hits me hours later. Like, I didn't know I was going to have sinus issues until I actually got on here, but I know that I haven't been taking my meds like I normally do. So, just trying to reduce a little bit. And I do use Flonase as well. I use the generic brand on Flonase, so I haven't taken either one. I should have kept using the Flonase, is what I should have done, and just not used the Allegra D until I need to. So, and then once I stopped taking one, it was just so easy for me to forget about the other one too, you know. But I'll take a dose of each one of those, and then maybe what I'll do is I'll start taking Flonase every day. I don't mind doing that. But yeah, so I don't have anything else to share. It's been some long days. Things been happening and moving around. I got to do a lot of outside work now that it's getting warmer outside and the rain has finally decided to quit. We still have an overcast days, and then the sun will come out, but I got to like do my spring cleaning that I didn't do in the spring. I never do spring cleaning in the spring because it's still too cold for me, because most of my spring cleaning involves water. So I want to wash algae off the house. I want to, you know, clean off decks, sidewalks, stuff like that, and then go tackle weeds in various places, stuff like that. So got to start doing some of that kind of stuff. But I need to edit some videos. I still got a couple of videos. Somebody asked me about how I load on my long arm. I did record that. I also talked about intake process of quilts during this time. I need to edit that. I know I got those 2 videos. And then I also today recorded in this shirt. I recorded the May finishes. And I need to edit that video first though, so I can get it up for my May finishes. Yeah, and then I got to do some work outside. So I can't be everywhere. I wish I could. I wish I could make 2 of me that knew everything that I know and could just go do it, and I don't have to tell them what to do or how to do it. But I don't have that. I don't even have anybody near me that wants to do what I do. You know, my family. Nobody. I do use a neti pot sometimes. Those things actually do work very well. Mary says, all of a sudden it'll be summer here in Topeka next week. Bye spring. Yes. And I'm looking, when I'm doing the house, I have all this water splashing back on me, so I don't want to be outside and 70 degrees with cold water on me. It's like going into a cold pool. So I'd rather do it when it's hot outside as compared to when it is spring, when I'm doing the house. That's the one I want to do the windows and all of that kind of stuff. So that's my job, because, you know, I think like me being a sewer, I see more dirt than my husband do. So there are certain things that I want to do that I don't want him to do, because he doesn't see everything. And whereas I look at stuff for the detail. So that's my job, is to kind of do the house. Tiffany says, I've been busy but lazy for days too. I take so many breaks. Yeah, I think like one point I had to cut my air on, because I'm like, maybe it's because it's hot in here. And then it got cold like 2 days later. I had to cut it back off. So now I got it back on. I'm hoping that we can just leave the air on now that I got it on. Diane says, my doctor wanted me to try the neti pot, but I don't want any water up my nose. It's funny because you got to anchor yourself just right over the sink. And I didn't have any that went down my throat. People were saying that it was going in the wrong place, but mine went in one nostril and came right back out the other. So you got to angle your head right. I had a fear of doing it too the very first time, but it actually worked, and it's been working fine for me. You just got to have that nose right. And Mary says she used sinus rinse. It really helps. And Diane says that neti pot works though. Yes, it does. I'm telling you, it works. And I also use like bottled water that I would just like sit at room temperature. I would use Instead of using tap water, I use bottled water. I don't know if it makes any difference, but that's what I use, along with the little solution that they tell you to mix in it. And Mary says that, Diane, make sure you use distilled water, not tap water. So somebody is on the same thing. I just use bottled water. I didn't have distilled, but I do have distilled water in my house now. I do stock it. But that's good to know too. But for some reason, I knew probably don't use tap water. Cool Girl says, well, my house is pristine condition, but the inside not so good. Got to get this inside clean. I'm working on the outside, and then I'll be trying to figure out, I need to learn how to let stuff go. You know, especially craft stuff. I have a hard time letting craft stuff go, like my fabric. You know, if I don't like it, I go out, just put it on the back of quilts. You know, I have a whole section now that's like charity quilt stuff, because I don't want it to, you know, I don't want to give it away, and I don't want to like it to go in the trash. And it's like, girl, I'm a mess. Basically, I'm a mess. So, and Mary says that she used tap water once and got a terrible infection. Distill and the saline is great. Okay. So I used regular bottled water, and it worked fine for me, but I do have distilled water. I'll try distilled water next time I do it as well. But I love the neti pot. So, tell you what, guys, we're going to go ahead and end here. And just because, no need in holding on for another 11 minutes if we don't have a whole lot to say. I saw a couple comments come up. Janet saying good night. And Judy is even telling Diane 57 that it feels good too. So we're going to go ahead and end here. Go see what my husband's watching on television. Because I'm sure I'm not going to fall asleep right away. Because I don't know what's wrong with me at nighttime. It's like, that's not when I'm sleepy. I don't yawn or anything. Last night, I took a bath at like 2:30 in the morning or something. And I was in there probably an hour and a half. Just going through magazines and stuff. So just chilling, you know, middle of the night. I just like when everything around me is quiet. I can think, no cars on the street, nobody's calling, no televisions, you know, no distractions. I'm just weird. And Diane is saying, yeah, I'm like that. Every time I've gotten rid of it, that's exactly what I need. Yes, indeed. So, but that's going to be it, everybody. You all stay safe, stay blessed. I'm going to go see if I can read some of these emails. I got to fix my last dinner. You all know I don't start eating till late. I start my first meal probably about, I think my first meal today may have been like 4 or 5 o'clock, because it went later than I expected. But I've had that one meal, and I haven't had anything else to eat all day. So I'm going to fix something, even if it's just soup, a can of soup or something. And then I'll look at some emails tonight as well. I don't know how long I'm going to be on the computer, but I'll try to answer some of those emails that went into my spam. And I'm so sorry that you all haven't heard from me. And I'm glad that, Diddy, that you persisted so that I know that I need to go check those emails. But I will see you all later. Oh, Triana says hi. Hi, Triana. Bye, Triana. But I'm going to see everybody Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Stay blessed and stay safe, everybody.